And I'll even name people like Maxine Waters, Clyburn, even the late and great, by some opinions, of like John Lewis's and Elijah Cummings as well.
Yeah, I think that their role plays a disservice to our community. I feel like they're in a position where they can talk about it a lot different. And I kind of want to bring in the question that we were discussing prior to this into this, is that the way that we talk about politics, and we talk about the big money in politics and what that does, which that plays a part in it as well. But we also have to understand that everything that's being done is antithetical to the existence of Black people. And being Black, unfortunately, in this country is a political issue. Our skin color is a political issue. And so sometimes it's about not doing things that will help us to advance because the donors and the powers that be don't believe in that. They don't want that for us. And mind you, these are the same companies and corporations who disproportionately don't hire Black people or disproportionately pay Black people less. We need more people in leadership. We need more people in leadership that look like us, that can talk about those issues, that can call out the anti-Blackness, that can demand that we need more. I find it extremely disappointing, RIP John Lewis, but I find it extremely disappointing Maxine Waters, and a lot of other of our elders who are in Congress, I feel like they lived during the times where their generation was fighting for liberation. Their generation was fighting for freedom. A lot of them lived through the Jim Crow era. And it's a really sad sight to see how even they let big money to influence them, to take them away from their values, probably for what essentially put them in politics in the first place. I mean, and you look at people like Nancy Pelosi, even though Nancy Pelosi is a white woman, if you look at some of her clips when she first got into Congress, she actually supported universal health care. When you look at people like AOC, who came into Congress, who's a Latina, and you see people like you see her come into Congress, and she was just very gun ho, pro lefty, working class, da 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 da, and eventually, I won't say it's corporate money because I don't believe that she takes that, but it's also the influence and the wanting to hold on to that power. And I feel like somewhere along the way they get lost and they lose sight of actual community. But that's what happens when you stay in office for 45 years and you get used to having a six-figure salary and you become a millionaire. You don't want to lose that. And so at some point there's a disconnect where you're no longer connected to your community. You no longer have those community ties that you may have once had. And it's really sad, and it's really disappointing to know that, you actually lived through the things that we talk about now, that we're learning about in the history books. You were there. And so it's just like, how dare you not want us to demand more when you at one point demanded more yourself? That's why you're in the seat that you're in. That's why you ran for office in the first place, because you wanted more. And if you wanted more and you ran for Congress because you wanted to demand more, then why won't you encourage us to demand more ourselves as working class people and the people that you represent?